Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to the next demo, Azure File Sync Service. Let me explain some information about this new feature introduced in Azure. For a long time, system administrators have been struggling with the traditional model of file servers where you need to take care of the capacity, the backup, and recovery of the shares, where the shares are available in other offices or not, and whether it takes long time to access this share or not. Azure File Sync helps us solve these issues with file share by number one, centralize your share in Azure files, relieving the headache of file server hardware, granting fast access to the share since it will cache the data in multiple locations, providing cloud tiering where it will delete the least recently used file share from your local file server according to the percentage of capacity you want to maintain free on premises. The data is still available on Azure storage where user can access it. No longer require you to back up your file shares as Azure will handle this. So end result is on-prem file share servers sync to the Azure with the help of Azure File Sync service, and backend is linked with the Azure storage. Prerequisite: to install the Azure File Server agent, you need the following prerequisites. Number one, you need Windows Server 2012 R2 or 2016 with desktop experience OS. AFS does not support PowerShell 6.0 or higher version on both the Windows, so minimum we need 5.1 at least. Create an Azure storage account so that we'll use a file share feature of Azure storage, and under the file shares feature we create a file share and then we try to integrate with Azure File Sync service. And another important step, we need to install a module called Azure RM. So we'll do all this demo one by one. Let's start with the storage first. I have a resource group, so I'm going to create one storage now. Under storage account, name is existing resource group RJ solution 1, name is SCG 1000 under my East US region, and I'll make it simple, standard edition general purpose 2 with geo redundancy, and quick and create. This is the first step, create Azure storage. Azure storage deployment is done. Second step, create file share. So I'm going to create a Azure File Sync service. So before this sync service, I'll do it. Go to my storage account under my RJ solution and SCG 1000. Under this, I'm creating a file share. Name is File Sync Corp File Sync. Is not accepting that capital letters. Quota is 4000 GB, approx 4 GB. And end result is I want to integrate my on-premises file server with this corp file sync file share, and so that my on-premises all share folders will sync to this file sync folder. So right now simply share folder is there or file share folder is there under the storage. That's it. So I'm going to create now file sync service, Azure File Sync. So Azure File Sync extends on-premises file server into Azure. Azure File Sync service provides multi-site access, Cloud sharing integrates with Azure Backup, fast disaster recovery. We already discussed all these benefits. So name is Corp File Sync. Under my resource group, this is called File Sync Service. So now I have to prepare my on-prem file server. So I have a virtual machine under my on-prem. Name is on-premises file server. I want to prepare this on-premises file server so that it should be integrated with Azure File Sync Service. So for that, first step, run as admin under the PowerShell. And for this registration, we need to make sure we have very important module called install module Azure RM. And we need PowerShell minimum 5.1 and above. In my case, in this machine, I already have PowerShell 5.1. So this will command will take a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, I'll pause this recording here. So in my case, it's already up and running with this latest version of module. So now come back to the next step. I'll refresh this resource group. So corp file sync. So in the configuration, first step is we need to register our on-prem file servers. So first I'm creating this sync group. So so for this registration, we need to download that register servers. So under register servers, whatever the server we registered, which comes under here. So download the Azure File Sync agent and install on a on-premises server. So this will be storage sync agent 2012 R2, 48 MB. And we try to install this agent into my on-prem file server. I accept default path, proxy, settings for internet, use Microsoft Update. So once this step is done, there must be one server should comes under the registered server. This agent help us to integrate my on-prem file server with Azure File Sync service. Azure File Sync agent on this computer is up to date. I'm signing into the cloud provider. or directly click on sign in. Sign in will ask you to authenticate with Azure subscription. So once the authentication is done, we need to select the Azure subscription, resource group, and the storage file sync service, which we created just now. So in my case, it will be CORP file sync under the resource group RJ1 solution. And we try to register this server. Once again, it asks me Azure authentication. Reg- Registration is successful. Done. So now, when GSS is on-prem server, which is registered under my file sync service, if I type my host name, that's my same server. So this is done. Now I'm going to create a couple of share folders under my root file server. Name is say root. Under root, couple of files, file 1, and file 2. Now click on sync group. Finally, the server is registered, so we have to do a sync group. So sync group is like sync group name. So say sync 1. First, it asks me when on-premises file share sync with the Azure, it should sync to which group as a target, like a production one, and it goes to which storage. And we already have one storage account which we created just now, STG 1000. And finally, automatically it pick Azure Files Share and then create. This is called sync group. Under the each sync group, when you click, this is called, you can say, the deployment group. And under the sync group, we can have endpoints. This is still in progress. So once sync group is created, this is called, you can say, the production one. And finally, inside the sync group, we can have multiple server endpoints. The server endpoint is the individual registered servers, and we have one of the server registered. and the root path of the folder which we want to take like a copy. Cloud tiering we don't want to enable right now, and create. So under the sync group, we have one of the server endpoint, and this server endpoint is status as provisioning. So after a couple of minutes, the status will be green, and then I'll show you what is the end result. So end result will be when I click on my RJ solution 1 under my storage, under my file share, all my on-prem folders should be synced under this file share. See, file 1, file 2. So it's like a backup kind of solution. So in reality, if I changing any files and folder onto the root folder, say file number 3, it's live updating to the Azure storage as a backend. So summary, this Azure File Sync service is a service which integrate with a storage as a backend purpose, and end result is it integrate from your on-prem file servers and share folders. So you no need to take the copy, backup, and all those stuffs from an on-prem point of view. Automatically it's synced to the file sync service on Azure, which is backend integrated with a storage. Before that, you have to register one of the server of your on-prem server. Then only it integrates with the help of agent. Thank you very much for joining this session.